Okay. All right. Thank you again for coming, you guys. Like I kind of mentioned when a few of you were on, we're from a few different companies here, and Hostess Coaching is always going to be Hostess Coaching across the board, especially when it comes to Facebook parties, which is what I'm primarily going to talk to you guys about today. Prior to COVID, a little over a year ago, I was a home party girl, and that's a whole other hostess coaching that we could get into. But I had to pivot hard. I will be the first to tell you, I actually hated Facebook parties. So when you see that I hit this $190,000 a year, you have to understand, prior to this, I was lucky if Facebook parties hit $200. I thought they were the dumbest thing ever. They were a waste of my time. Please let me just in your living room and show you all the things, was my attitude, okay? So I pivoted really hard with the hostess coaching. And there's a lot of things that I found that I really want you to kind of listen and think about. And I know there's going to be, I've tried to kind of answer questions that I know a lot of you are going to have because I get asked them all the time. And Stacy and I tried to kind of really talk it through. Her and I chit chat lots and try to kind of think about, you know, what are some problem areas that we hear from people and that sort of thing. Here's the first two things I want to share with you. Your host is literally, and I wanted to have a giant key and I could not for the life of me find it, but your host is literally the key to your business, you guys. Okay. She is your make it or break it. Okay. It is not you. It is not how fantabulous you think your Facebook party is. It is not whether your Facebook party is an hour long or 3 days long or 5 days long or 7 days long. It is the connection that you make with your hostess and the work that you help her put into this, okay? What your Facebook party is great commercials. It is nothing more than that. And it needs to be good commercials. That doesn't mean I want your Facebook party to just be blah. I want it to be you. I want it to represent you. I want it to be fun. I want you to go live. I want you to have videos. I want you to have pictures with you, because then they are going to buy you. But we're not here to talk about the Facebook party. I really can't stress enough. At the same time, you and I could have the same exact party with two different hosts and have completely different results with what we do, right? I mean, that's just the nature of the beast, okay? You could spend 3 weeks perfecting the most beautiful party you've ever seen, and people could pay you millions for your party. But at the end of the day, if you don't hostess coach, it still could be a flop, right? So I cannot stress enough, it is literally the key to my $190,000. And you guys, what does that mean? That means she has to be super special for you. That means you have to treat her like gold. And I'm going to share some things about that along the way and how you're going to get her to basically kind of buy in and help you. So the other example that I want to tell you a Facebook party is not only is it a commercial, but for all things hostess coaching, it is really kind of an amped up catalog party. At the end of the day, instead of just handing her the catalog party and handing her the catalog and all the things and saying, okay, go collect the orders, we're going to give her all kinds of tools that she's going to help you with. Okay. So with her being your key, you want to treat her well. You want to excite her. There are things in it for her, and you have to show her that. You have to get her to make you guys the wish list. How many of you have her making a wish list? You guys, good. Couple of you. Okay, it is so important. That is going to help buy her in. Okay, that's no different than us as a consultant. After we join with our kit, and most of our companies give us more free stuff, right? I know Zaya does. I know for a fact because I joined it too, right? I'm only doing it on the side, but it's a little thing. So Zaya and Mary Kay, I don't care what we're doing, they give you something when you join if you do more work, right? So it's the same for her. She's got to be bought in because she's like, oh my gosh, I want these leggings or that Cindy toe or whatever it is for free. I want to get it for free. And then there's something exclusive for me too, whatever that looks like, right? So you have got to get her excited about that. And she's even going to share that later. Okay. You're going to see that in my hostess coaching. That's how you're going to get more parties too, because people are going to see what she wants. And then they're going to see, oh my gosh, she accomplished it. Okay. You're sharing all these things in the party, which we're getting ahead of ourselves. You're also, so you're going to get her to buy in, you're going to excite her, and you're going to treat her well. Now, here's some ideas. There are so many things here, you guys, that you can do, and you're going to see along the way with the hostess coaching. But here's some little things that go a long way. Sending a hostess packet. How many of you skip the hostess packet now with your Facebook party? Be honest. How many of you send a hostess packet still? Right? How many of you skip it? Few of you. Yeah, no, it's common. Okay. I'm calling you out, but at the same time, I get it. And there's a lot of people that send it virtual. And I know some of you guys don't always have a catalog and things are always changing. I get that too. You can send graphics. Okay. I'm not against that. But some way, shape, or form, I want you to send her something. I don't care if it's just a card saying, I'm excited to party with you. And for us with 31, peaches are really big right now. And so we're putting some little peach stickers in there. Sloths are really big. Something fun. If it doesn't relate to Zaya or 31, that is fine too. There's no reason that you just can't send some dollar store goodies, something that fits in an envelope. It sounds silly, but ladies, we love mail. We absolutely love mail.
I started sending cards, like a little card. I hope you don't mind me jumping in.
Absolutely.
But I a little card, and every now and then, well, what I would do is too, and people don't have to do this, they don't want the expense. Is I mail for myself at home, but I would send a little dollar store $1 box of candy, and I think I did it with you, didn't I? I put a sticker on it and I said, you're in for a sweet treat when you party with me, just so they know, like, I'm serious about this. Like, I'm really serious about this. And you can just do a card. My favorite thing ever is confetti. Just put a card with confetti and just, I appreciate you. But then they know, like, you know what? Like, she's really not playing around. Like, she's really serious.
Yep.
This is an important
you have
thing to her.
Set the tone. That is absolutely it, Stacy. You have set the tone that you are the real deal, that I'm not going to forget about you. Please don't forget about me, right? Because that's another thing. We all lose our hostesses every now and then, right? And I'm not saying it's always going to work, but it helps if you have a catalog and she gets it and you have some kind of card and some little treat. Use Amazon. That's another great tool because you can always write a little note in Amazon too. And candy and things are super easy to send straight from Amazon, even just another little thing. Okay, so you've set the tone now. In the meantime, some other things that you're going to do, like we talked about, you're going to get her wish list as soon as you possibly can. So you've mailed her that stuff. You're going to get it. You're going to use that along the way. Okay, Stacy and I both are really big on this, emojis and GIFs. Okay, they're silly, I know. And some of you are like, oh, it's not me. Try to make it you. Don't overkill it. If you're not like Stacy and I, it's okay. You don't have to throw it in there a million times. But the more that you see color when you receive a message, this is a proven thing, you guys. The more that you see color, it's just like if you go back old school and you talk about stationery, right? Okay, we used to send our letters to our boyfriends and all that, and to our girlfriends, right? And they'd have butterflies on the top and rainbows, and right? Who had all the fun stationery back in the day, right? I know I'm not the only old person here. Right? We love that. It excites. There's something about color as opposed to black and white that is a mood changer. I mean, it's just proven. Think about all the colors, right? We don't need to go into that. So that's the same thing that happens with emojis. It's not just that they're cute and they're hearts and they're this and that and the other, but it just excites. It makes you feel that. Okay. But the next thing that I can't say enough still, which we're going to get to again, and I'm kind of skipping around my notes, and it's okay, is that some way, shape, or form, she needs to see you. She needs to hear you. So if videos are scary for you, you have to start doing videos and you have to start doing voice recordings. And I'll get to the importance of all of that in a little bit too. So last but not least, the other thing that I push her towards, and you may have different numbers with Zaya, but I think it's pretty similar, Stacy, is I talk about over and over again how 500 is our minimum. Now, I know 200 is really the minimum for her party, right? That's where she's going to get rewards, but I don't talk that way. I talk her into that $500 party. That is her minimum for me out of the gate. So if she sends me you look at that wish list, you pay attention. If she sends me that wish list for anything less than that, I say, oh girl, I want you to dream a little bit more. We are really pushing for that 500. I want you to pick out 2 of those exclusives and 2 of those half offs and the 100 free, whatever it looks like for your company. Okay. All right. So some questions, and this is especially for those of you who have gotten into my training already. So if you haven't gotten there yet, you will, and you're going to look at my hostess coaching. And if you print it, and I never understand why people print it, but some of you like paper. I like paper, but I would never print this. But if you print it, it's 31 pages. Not going to lie. Okay, 31 pages of hostess coaching. And that sounds like, what in the world is this crazy lady trying to tell me to do, right? Okay, there's some things in there before you go, okay, that I want to break down why there's so much in there. First of all, there's a lot of graphics in there. Second of all, I have made it as a leader to help train other people just like you. And so there's a lot of me explaining what you need to do. Okay, so what you as the consultant are doing and saying and that sort of thing. So that there's some teaching things in there. Okay, though that's two of the biggest things, but there is some key parts to this still that I want you to understand that I think some of you are missing. How many of you hostess coach just, I'm going to give a few different ranges here, 2 to 5 days before the party? Anybody in that category? How many of you hostess coach about a week before the party? How many of you hostess coach anything more than that? 10 days, 12 days, 14 days? That's the key. That's the missing piece that you guys are missing. Okay. And that doesn't mean that I don't bust parties out in 5 days sometimes, okay? That doesn't mean that I'm not getting bookings off of bookings sometimes and I'm like, hey girl, I got a party in 5 days. You wanna be in it? Okay, that happens too, okay? But the bulk of my parties are on the calendar and I'm starting that coaching 14, 12, 10, and my heart's palpitating. And I'm going, oh, I gotta get done. I gotta get those messages sent, okay? And that's where this stretches out and 31 pages doesn't become so much because it's just little touches. So first, I'm just getting her on board. I'm getting her information. I'm setting her party up. I'm talking about how excited we are. You're going to see all of that in those first messages. It's all just buying in. And once we get to her making her list, if I haven't heard from her, I'm gonna check in. I'm just gonna say, hey, good morning. Did you get your list done? That's it. That's the touch for the day, right? Like, that's not like there's really like all these crazy tasks. My go-getters can get all of those tasks done in about an hour. I have had women who just are like on it and they're like, what's next? What's next? What's next? They can get it all done in an hour. And I'm stretching that hour over a couple of weeks and I'm giving her time. And that's where the magic happens, that she's not overwhelmed, but you've built the excitement. She's gotten her goodies in the mail. She's started her wish list and all of those things. So my party process, just to break it down for you, like I said, 14 days, 12 days, 10 days at the very least, I try that I'm starting those parties. Then my party is 5.5 days. This is another part that some of you might go, oh, that's too much. For me, that is what I find works. Again, to give her all the things that I want her to do in that 5.5 day party, that gives me the ability to just give her a couple of things a day. I want you to post this today, and I want you to message these people today, and I want you to do this today. You might find it's a 7-day party. You might find it's a 3-day party. You might like the hour-day party with posts after. Everything and anything is going to work, you guys, okay? But there are some keys that I want you to pay attention when you look at my hostess coaching. I want you to pay attention how many times you're actually talking to her about that minimum $500 party that I talked about and that awesome $1,000 party, okay? I don't mention it once. There's several times throughout my hostess coaching I'm plugging that. I also give her something for booking parties. Now you can choose to do or not to do that, but some way, shape, or form, you got to do something for booking parties again. You've got to remember she's the key. She holds the key to your business. And if she's going to help you book 3 parties, you guys, I'll spend money. I'm not going to give away the bank, but I'm going to give her something if she is going to get me 3 parties every time. And it works. So for me personally, just to tell you what I do, I give her the choice of 3 $15 gift certificates. So she gets a $15 gift certificate at each of those parties. That helps her spend a little bit at her friend's party. Or for us with 31, she gets a little goodie bag. We get things reduced. I know you guys probably too. You've got stock, you get things free, that sort of thing. She knows she's going to get something, some type of surprise valued at $7 or more. She doesn't know what it's going to be. So then you just have the choice to do what you want to do. So there's all kinds of things. I always tell girls, don't give away the bank. You don't have to do as much as I do, but you do have to do something for her. You really do, you guys. She is the key, as I mentioned. So I want you to pay attention how many seeds you're dropping to her. I'm not talking about just in the party, you guys. I'm not talking about the commercials in the party. I'm talking about her. How many seeds are you dropping that she gets something for those three booked parties? How many seeds are you dropping that her $500 party is her minimum and her 1,000 is what we are working for? And lastly, but not least, how many seeds are you asking her? How many times are you asking her or hinting around that she should join you and the benefits of it? Now, I do clubs and fundraisers and all those things, and it's up to you if you want to kind of drop those in there too. Those are all parts of it as well. But those three key areas, you need to be dropping seeds to her 3 to 4 times from the beginning to the end when you look at it. So that's part of the process. So there again, here we are 10 days before the party, 5.5 day through the party. And even then you're going to have coaching in there those days after, and you are still going to ask her again. You are going to remind her how stinking fun it is. You wish that could have been her launch party, but especially if she got booked parties, holy cow, those could be your parties, yada, yada. You're going to have all those conversations. So this is reason number 1 that this looks long and how we broke it down, and hopefully it's a little less scary. But there's a reason number 2 that's even more important, and I touched it on a little bit earlier, and that is videos and voice recorders. Now, I have an app in the training, if you've not seen it, for voice recordings, and you can send right from the app. You can make, so I have made one recording that gets sent to all of my hostesses. I am not repeating myself. It saves it in these little files. So you will see, I will give you scripts of what I say in the voice recording in a roundabout way. So you're going to vary it up. You're going to do some videos because you do want her to see you. But I'll be honest, the videos are the ones that she doesn't want to play as much. Okay. You got to keep those super short still, 2 minutes or less. And you got to tell her. You got to tell her sometimes when she hasn't watched it. That's when my message will be, hey, have you had time to watch that really quick video? I promise you it's 90 seconds. Like I just flat out say how long it is, because when I see video too, I go, oh, what is this? Is this going to be 20 minutes of my life I can't get back, right? Like we all have that feeling still, right? Or you're just going to get sucked into YouTube, right? Like if you've got kids, you know how like once you hit YouTube and TikTok, you're like Pinterest, those things that we're sucked into forever. Now, this is where I wanted to share the screen, but I don't want to go over. I want to give us time for Q&A, and so I'm not going to share the screen, but I want you to visualize. I want you to pay attention. Maybe do this yourself. Just practice. Pull my script. Pull something. I want you to read something. Pull out a book even if you have to, okay? And I want you to take a voice recorder, send it to your friend, just practice with someone. And I want you to record a minute long of you reading that book, okay? Everything that you could say in a minute. And then I want you to look at that page on that book, how much it was to read. And it's one of those things, it's a mind game, you guys. What it looks like to read is this giant thing that I shut down and don't pay attention to. But when she hears my voice and she hears the fluctuation and she hears my excitement and she's not having to read it and use her eyes and she can just listen, she'll listen to you so much more. I can see 3 of them in a row because so Facebook limits you to a minute message. If you guys don't know that about voice recording. So I can send 3 minutes, actually. I can send 3 of those in a row and she listens to them every time. I've never had any complaints from it. So that is a huge, huge key. The more of those that you can do, the more that it's really, really going to help. Okay, so here's another thing that Stacy and I talked about. I'm getting close to the end and we'll open up to Q&A. Another thing that we talked about, and I see this verbiage get thrown around a lot, and this was a great reminder Stacy asked me and kind of wanted me to touch on, is that it's very common for us to say, we do all of the work for the Facebook party. It's super easy. You don't have to do anything. We do all the work. I don't say that, okay? I don't use that disclaimer. But what I do say instead is that I am very good at helping my hostesses get people to the party, get the $500 minimum party, and most of my hostess hit $1,000. So I flip it and I talk about, I look at it in a different way. I don't lie to her because I'm not going to lie. I make her work, okay? Because it's not going to be successful if she doesn't. Last but not least, if she does all this for you, oh my gosh, she needs to join your team. And it doesn't mean that they always do, but I really try to make her understand that at the end. I really do show her and tell her, like, you did an amazing job. you were so good at this. Your posts that you made, the photos that you posted in the party, because she's posting the party, you guys. That's when you look at that hostess coaching that you'll see of mine, she's posting her favorite items. She's posting items that she can gift. She's posting items that she wants with her party. She's posting why she booked the party, what she has, okay? She's working it, you guys, if she really did it. And she should be joining you. Doesn't mean you're going to get her there, but you praise her back to that very beginning. You treat her like gold. How amazing she just did for you. Okay, those are my biggest things. I'm ready for Q&A. Unmute yourself. I hope it was helpful. If you haven't looked at my training itself, some of it will make more sense when you look at it. If you haven't too, my 31 crazy pages. But you'll see the app that I talked about. You'll see a lot of the little things that I did talk about too. So I do want you to, to take the time, because there's some, if nothing else, the app is super cool, you guys. You got to use it.
You know what I hear, Danielle, what really jumps out at me, because I was over here taking notes, even though we talk all the time.
I know, right?
Even though I use your voice recording, I started slacking, and I've been doing it, like trying to cram it in like 3 days before. But it really jumped out at me is that what I'm hearing from you is you're treating these parties like it's your business, like it's your job, like this is how you make money, and you're taking it very seriously. You're not winging it. But I also hear that you have a system. And so it might sound super overwhelming to people initially when they hear like, oh my gosh, there's all these things for 15 days or 12 days or 10 days beforehand. But it sounds like you've automated yourself, you have a system, and that you treat this seriously like a business. So I love that. And guess what I realized, because I know you, is you treat it like a business and it pays you like a business. And we talked
Absolutely.
about how this was, you basically tripled your sales in 1 year. You made the most money you've ever made in your business, like zeros upon zeros that you never thought you'd see that many zeros.
Right.
Before. From home during COVID, when other people were losing their jobs and couldn't work, your income skyrocketed because you implemented your own personal system that worked for you.
Systems and repetition work, you guys. I can't say it enough. And with that, I'll add with Stacy, another thing that I hear that could have been part of this, that's a very good point, is it might not work the first couple of times. Okay, you're going to fail. You're going to have some grumpy hostesses. It is not all sunshines and roses over here. Okay, I mega party, I battle, and I focus on those girls that work it and do it. And I keep sending the things to the other girls. And if she does them, she does them. If she doesn't, she doesn't. It's the same thing with your home party, right? It's the same thing when you were doing Facebook parties before. And like Stacy said, we're willy-nilly in them. And you're just kind of throwing stuff out there, and you're throwing it up in the air, hoping somebody grabs it and goes with it. It's just like anything else. It's like losing weight or anything else, right? Like you're not going to see that you're not going to see the pounds dropped in that first week, right? From all the things that you work so hard to do that week. And it's so frustrating. It is. But in 4 weeks, you're going to see something. And in 8 weeks, you're going to see even more. And it's the same way with this. It's the same way with anything you do with systems and repetitions. Just keep tweaking it. Keep making it your own. Don't give up.
One of the things I wanted just to touch on, because I know with my team and even in my own personal business, and the reason why I love talking to you almost daily is because it reminds me. So in my mind, my parties have been super quiet, a lot of crickets. Same thing with my team, especially in the last 2 to 2.5 months. But what I know from you is, do you mind sharing how much you sold last month?
Last month was 20,000, a little over 20,000.
What about the month before?
20, that was a bigger month, wasn't it? 20, I don't know. It's been 20s for a few months in a row.
So you've been consistently selling personally $20,000. So that reminds me, you know what? Maybe Facebook is quiet, but it's people are seeing, people are buying, people are shopping.
Here's something I'm going to add to that too, is that this is where everybody gets caught up in that Facebook party. I hear Stacy say it all the time. We talk about it. She's like, oh my God, it was just the Facebook party itself was quiet. You guys, I can have quiet Facebook parties and she still pulls off $1,000 because it's the messages at the end and it's her still at the end of the day doing the work. And I'm the girl that doesn't want to go to the Facebook party. But if you remember to ask me, if you say my party's closing today, If I went to the party already, if I said yes to you, which I did, if you invited me the real way, by the way, I can't stand it if you just plopped me in a group. I'm never going to. But anybody that, my rule is basically, if you invite me the right way, I go to your party, and I don't participate in the party. I don't have time, right? This is my job every day, and I don't want to keep doing it, right? As much as I love it, I don't need to. But if you say to me, my party's closing today, here's my link, I'm your girl, I'm shopping. And that is key. That is what so many people are doing. And maybe they saw those commercials and they didn't play the games and they didn't do all of the things, but it's really key to not get caught up in that Facebook party too. Sorry, Stacy, I know I kind of cut you off, but I wanted to make sure that I added that in there.
I actually have a question, and then I'll shut up and let other people ask questions.
You're good.
What I wanted to know is approximately, just for everybody, how much time per day does it take your hostess to do these things? Because we might be intimidated to put all this onto our hostess. In reality, what are you asking from her? What kind of a commitment? Is it front loaded? You're asking for more of a commitment in the beginning, and at the end, front and back loaded, and in the middle, it's a quick touch point every day or quick little task every day?
That's a great question. So before the party, honestly, she's just answering your questions. You're saying a lot until she gets to making that list. A lot of it is like, are you ready to be the biggest party in my mega party? Woohoo! And are you ready to hear my secret? And she watches a video and it's 2 minutes and that sort of thing. So a lot of that is, she's really not doing much. It's just a conversation back and forth, right? She's reading and listening to your messages and she's responding. She makes the list. So I do ask her to make the list of 40 people. She's getting those names. That's one of them that's going to take the longest. That's a stickler that I stick on. For us, and I think you do too, Stacy. I think that you have something you emailed us, like a login to get into our party to kind of just see it. Did we have something we logged into? I can't remember.
We do, but I'm going to be honest, I've never used it.
You haven't been using it. I used to not use it either, but I'll tell you, this gets her bought in, because when she sees her orders coming in and she's got that goal and she knows 500 is her minimum, she starts to get excited. She sees who orders. She sees, oh, my party's at 2 something, it's at 3 something. So I get her to log into it, just make sure she's just able to log in. I don't have her do anything in it, nothing crazy. And then prior to the party, eventually we're getting there, she's sending those invites out, and that takes a little bit of time. She's copying and pasting to all those people and she's sending real invites. During the party, it's really going to depend on her. The tasks that I actually give her are probably only 10 to 15 minutes a day. Some of them do involve her snapping some pictures of her own products, right? Some of them involve her going and finding pictures from the party of things that she liked. If she is really playing the games and she's doing all the things, you're going to add another 15, 20 minutes, right? Now, I will add this disclaimer. The boomers, it's going to take twice as long. And they're frustrated. I don't know how many of you guys party with boomers. I get a lot of boomers, and I have to teach them a lot more. Now, them I have to teach how to copy and paste. I have to teach them how to screenshot. I have to teach them a lot more things. And so Facebook in general can just be frustrating to them. So keep that in mind with your different generations, how much time it's going to take them to do some of these things too. Someone who is already in direct sales and that sort of thing, they might be on it a little bit quicker. But realistically, it is 10, 15 minutes a day, Stacy, during the party, for the most part, for most of the successful things. Now, some of them get behind. I get some days that, just like anybody else, I get girls that I don't hear from a day. And I'm like, whoa, where'd you go? All right, we're going to get caught up today. It's okay. You know, we're just going to do this and this and this. So it is really 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes a day max ever. And some of it is so much simpler than that. It really is. Do we have any other questions? I know Stacey said she was going to ask that question and let you guys. How many of you are scared still? Be honest. How many of you look at it and you're still scared? Okay, that's good. I got you guys a little bit better that way. Good. How many of you were scared of it at first when you looked at it? Who looked at it at first and saw the 30-some pages? Okay, not bad. Because usually, oh yeah, there we got one. I knew we would. It's very common. It's normal. I get it. Heather's on here. She'll tell you when she didn't use it. My bestie Heather, I'm calling her out. She right away was the first one who was like, Danielle, it's 31 pages. When I first started using it, now she's using it little by little. Like she's made it her own. It's a lot of people. I called you out, Heather. But no, it is. It's long. It is. There's no denying it. That's why I felt it was important to do this. That's why when Stacy and I talked about it, I felt it was important people need to know the why behind it. They need to know the understanding of it, that it's not necessarily as long and crazy as you think it is. There is a lot there. I'm not going to lie. But when you break it down and you see the way it is, the way I'm doing it, it works. It really, really does.
And now I have another question. Do you have hostesses that check out? Like they commit, they do the thing, they check out, and then how do you handle that situation? Because so.
I mean, you're going to get all kinds. I have some that just disappear, just like anybody else, right? They just completely go MIA, and we're just really worried, especially for you ladies in Alaska, right? Like they just really went into the woods and they're gone forever and ever. But there are some. So this is a great question because it can still be successful. I have girls, I mean, we all have life things, right? I have people who come in and they've been MIA for a couple of days, and it's not just that it overwhelmed them. Something happened in their life, right? Like they really were like, I'm so sorry. So-and-so was in the hospital and I had to blah, 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 blah. This is where I can't stress enough, having her do everything still makes it successful. I just slow it down. I say, you know what? It's okay if we are doing our last day messages 3 days after the party. It is totally fine. The party is over, but we're still doing stuff. Her people don't know that. Most of the time, if she was checked out of the party, they're kind of checked out of the party. But if she posts something and you had her tag them, they're going to see that post and they're going to go, oh, well, I guess this is still going on. They don't know when it closes and when it ends. You're going to have some party goers who do. Yes, you're always going to have the police girl in there who notices that post number 13 is missing, and you don't know why, since Cher or something didn't post it, right? You're going to have her doing her siren, right? But majority of them don't know what's happening. So try not to skip the steps. Try to avoid jumping ahead. Let her know we're going to do this at your pace. But we are going to go back and we're going to do the things from the past few days, and have her still do those posts, and have her still participate in the party, and have her send the message to the top 10 people, anything that she missed, basically. I really try not to skip the steps. Now, that doesn't mean I don't get some that are stubborn. It doesn't mean that I don't get some that I'm just like, girl, I'm not handling you anymore. Here we go. We're done. Last day message. You have to pick and choose where you're at with that, right? Because we get those too, right? You're always going to get that girl who just is not, she's just hell-bent. She's not doing what you want to do. She knows how to do it better and yada, yada, or she just doesn't have time for it. It does happen. And that's where it's all a numbers game too. I mean, that's where, to get the numbers that I have, I book a lot of parties and I lose just as much as a percentage. Some of my team will know. If you book 5 parties and you lose 1, times it by 4, that happens to me. Times it by 6, that happens to me. I lose more than you do, but it's the same percentage. On average, I'm losing 20, 30, 40, sometimes even 50% of my parties. It just happens. Sometimes they move to the next month. Sometimes they move to my next party. Sometimes they go into the Alaska woods and I never hear from them again. They're MIA, right? So that's where it's a numbers game. And I try hard not to sweat it, because I know that these other 4 hostesses are killing it. And I see them, they're going to hit that $4,000 party. And so it all just averages out too.
Before I ask another question, I just want to make sure I'm not hogging them all. Does anybody else have one?
I don't have a question. I just want to say, Danielle, thank you for offering this up for us to come see, because it's been very beneficial to me. I've been doing this for 2 years now, and there's some things that I need to get back on and some things that I've learned. So I really appreciate you allowing us to come in to this.
Well, I know we're not done, but I have to give Stacy a big shout out, because Stacy got me thinking about it all. Stacy she's always like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm asking you so many questions. And I love it, because it makes my brain work and it makes me realize there are things I'm not sharing about it. There's things that I'm doing that that I'm not paying attention to. So she really made me, over the past week, sit down and break it down and think about why things are working. So I love, Tammy, that you've heard me talk about it. You're a perfect example. You've heard me, you've seen the hostess coaching, but even Tammy's getting nuggets, because now she's like, oh my gosh, that's why she does it, or that's what's happening. So I appreciate you, Stacy, for making me do this, because it's a training I have now. I love it.
Well, I like to be surrounded by successful, smart people. I always want to be the dumbest person in the room. Because that's why I learn, Mm-hmm. My question with you is, and I know this about you, so I'm asking a question that I know the answer. You don't ask for bookings. You don't do a booking blitz. You're not messaging, cold messaging, warm messaging. You're booking parties from parties. And I know that you're doing that through your hostess coaching.
Yep.
So can you just, because we all want to book more parties. Like no one wants to do that message.
Absolutely.
Nobody wants to ask. It sucks. We hate it. So it's always great when you book like 5 parties from a party. You're like, yes. So
right.
Can you talk a little bit about how you're booking parties from your parties using your hostess coaching?
Yep. So I do use the dice game or the spin the wheel game, if you guys are familiar with that at all. And I know some people like it, some people love it, some people hate it. I don't mind it. I do use the dice game. And so that combined with her getting those 3 bookings and giving her some type of prize. Remember, she gets those 2 choices I talked about. She gets the 3 $15 gift certificates or the surprise. Though the combination of getting her to tag some people. So prior to the party, I'm asking her, I'm showing her those 2 things. Okay, would you like option A or B? Did you like the gift certificates or would you like the surprise gift? And then I'm immediately asking her then, who do you think would book a party? And she normally says, oh gosh, I have no idea. I mean, sometimes you get a go-getter and she's like, oh, I think my friend Susie and so on and so forth, but she's thinking about it, right? You've planted that seed. And then I'm right away just telling her, it's okay, but pay attention in the party, who likes to play all the games and who absolutely loves the product. So these are all those seeds I was talking about, you guys, that she is helping look for those parties to be booked. She is the one that's really, really helping you. The dice game helps. It gets you connected with them. Of course, any chance I get, if they're commenting on the hostess exclusives or anything like that, I'm doing just like I would at the home party. I'm kind of dropping some little seed about how, this is a great way, this is a fun way to get it is with a party, that sort of thing. Fast forward into the party again. Like I mentioned again, she posts why she booked a party. So she uses those words. I actually have her post, like, share with them why you booked. And so she usually is posting the Benjamin's wallet or the Cindy tote or whatever that big thing was at some point. She is, or a hostess exclusive. A lot of times we have the exclusive she's looking at. She is posting what's on her wish list. And last but not least, when we're really good at it, she is posting how close she is, like what she's got from her wish list and where her party's at. The battle, sometimes I don't post numbers, but I do post how well they're doing. Sometimes the battle, I teeter back and forth with that. Sometimes I just do the one at the end. But that does see, sometimes they see that way too. Those are really the biggest ways I'm just getting bookings between them playing the game, her tagging them on the game, and her, geez, one more important thing. Gosh, I knew there was one more thing. In the party, there's a countdown. That's another thing I try to be really good about. So when she books a party, I'm thanking that person for them booking their party. And I'm saying, Susie got a booking. Sally booked from Susie and Susie needs 2 more to get her free gift or her free gift certificates. So I'm posting that also. So there's always a countdown so that they see and they get guilted into knowing, like, oh gosh, my friend Susie only needs 1 more party. It could be me. She's getting it, right? Because that happens at the home party. I'm basically basing it. This is exactly how I did my home party. That's another huge part of it. When I broke all of this down, if I were able to talk to her and physically be in the living room and sit on the couch with her and do all of the things, this is a lot of what I would be doing with her and her guests. So that's what's huge for me, both with the coaching and the party. So that's how I work, how I do it. I am giving some stuff away. I am spoiling her, but I'm telling you, if she's getting you those 3 bookings, I'll gladly give up a little bit of that $500 party, those 3 $500 parties she just got me as a minimum, right? And it's kind of and that's really one of those things that if you build it, they will come too. It really will. That's another one of those things that you've got to stay repetitive with. You've got to keep doing the do. You've got to just keep trusting it. And there are some times that I got 3 parties out of 9 hostesses, but majority of the time, my average is 1.7 bookings per hostess. I've been tracking that for a while. So on average, I'm almost getting 2 bookings per hostess. So when I'm having 10 hostesses in a party, I've booked 17 off of it, is my average, just to give you a numbers. And like I said, it doesn't mean sometimes it doesn't flop. Doesn't mean sometimes there's only a couple. I'm like, dang it, there was 2 parties booked out of all those hostesses, right? Sorry, go ahead, Megan.
So I know Stacy tends to gather like hostesses into like one party. So you're kind of focused on like one area. Is that how you do it too? Because I could only imagine if I was doing like multiple parties each week and trying to remember to, send messages 2 weeks ahead to
Systems.
this one, like, and
I'm
to that
telling you,
one.
it's systems.
I
I
don't,
wish
how do
I
you
had
keep
my-
track of it all?
So I wish I had my notebook. That's a great question, but it's the systems. So I have all of the hostess
Yeah.
coaching in a file. Okay. So documents is on my phone. Documents is on my laptop. I have I'm a notebook girl. So in my notebook, you will see April 12th through the 15th, and you'll see all 10 hostesses that are in there. Every morning I get up, I go through the list and I look at each one in Messenger and just see where we are at. What was the last message we did? And I go to my document and I copy and paste and I copy and paste. Now, as we get closer to the party, I might do it 2 or 3 times a day. If it's getting crunch time, I might check in again at noon, see what's happening, and again in the evening. Now, I might not always be commenting back to her, but I'm checking my messages to see if she's responded, right? Like, I'm not pestering her 3 times a day. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm checking to see, okay, did she respond? But I'm telling you, it's a system, and it sounds like it should be a lot of work, but it's really not. You're just checking off. You're just going down the list. Boom, boom, boom. And if you get up every day and you just keep doing it, by the time the party starts, it's done. Most of the time they're done way before they need to be even. And then same thing with the party. I'm waking up in the morning and I'm saying, okay, it's day 2. Here's day 2. Here's what we got to send out to them. And then again, now this is where I will touch with them a little bit more. So now by after 5 o'clock, if they haven't responded, I say, hey, did you get to do that last step? And I check in. Some people are working during the day, they're going to have all kinds of things. I do touch base a little bit more with them during the party though, because I do want to get through those steps. It's crucial that we're doing so many things a day. They're super quick, but it is important. And a lot of times she'll say, oh yeah, I already did it. I forgot to message you, even though I've got a video telling them to message me, it just happens. So, but that's a good question. I mean, it takes time. You don't start off with 10, start off with 4, and you'll see you can do it and do that for a little bit and do 5. But yeah, I don't party any other way. I don't have time for it. I couldn't get the sales, and I'm doing so much less. As much as it sounds like the hostess coaching is less, you guys, I'm partying twice a month. That 5.5 day party, I'm only doing twice. That's it.
Okay.
But that's where, again, I'm not going to lie to you. My job is not the party. A lot of you are making your job the party. You are partying 5 times a month for an hour long or whatever you're doing in all of that time. My job is hostess coaching. I'm treating that part as the part that takes more time. And it does take more time probably than some of you are doing, but I'm actually partying less. Does that make sense? I mean, so it's like, it probably almost balances, but for me, there's more money and more bang for my buck and more relationship and all of that by doing the hostess coaching, as opposed to focusing all of this energy on the party itself.
I think once you get your system, so Megan works nights.
Mhm.
Megan is an ICU nurse and works nights and has 3 little kids. So like systems are key. Doing group parties, like I hesitated doing group parties at first. I thought that people wouldn't feel special. I kind of put all of my worries and fears and red light stories into why I think people wouldn't want to do it. I've never had pushback ever. This is how I run my business. This is where I've had success. This is how I do it. And I just tell them the side, and keeps me out of Facebook jail. It helps with the algorithms. If they question me, which they don't, but because I want to let them know there's other women in the party. I tell them there's other people in there. There's our hostesses in there with you. So yeah, I think this is I don't know if you've done it yet, Megan, but it's a great way.
Yeah, no, I have. I like it. I like doing that.
And the thing of it is too, once you break the ice and you've done it a few times and you start getting bookings off the bookings, they don't know any different. None of my people question it anymore because they just booked off of a mega party with 10 hostesses in it. And I'm not going to lie, you're going to get kickback. There will be some women who will hate it. Some of the boomers, those are back to the boomers again. But I'm convinced they will hate any party because it's just difficult for them. They don't get it. And I'm not trying to pick on my boomers because I love boomers. They actually spend the most. So I'm always like, oh my gosh, because they buy for their grandkids and the whole family, right? So I treat them like gold again. But the point is, my point with a Facebook party is you're always going to have me, the girl who just wants to shop. You're also going to have that girl who wants to win the prize and plays and does all of the things. And I don't care if it's an hour long. I don't care if it's a week long. you're just going to have those different personalities in there, and they're either going to do it or they're not. So of course you're going to get kickback. There are people who hate my party, but majority don't. I get so many women who are like, I have never had a successful party. Holy cow, I can't believe I had $1,000 party. I was worried that I wouldn't even get 5 friends and it was going to be disappointment. And I've done this type and this type and this type. You know, majority of the time they're so excited. They don't even remember what the party was like. They just know they got a $1,000 party. And Susie was happy she got her bag, and Sally was happy she got her Zaya pants. And I mean, you know, like it's just one of the, again, it's that build it and they will come mentality. You've got to just keep plugging away. Go ahead, Tammy.
Danielle, you know that I was resistant to doing the mega parties and the battles, and I pushed back against it for a long time. And when I finally went in and did it, I don't want to party any other way now. I had 2 parties. I think they were like $900 between the 2 of them. And I've got another party booked with the lady for next January. She only wants to do like party once a year. And I've got a battle going on starting in another week, 10 days actually. And both of the hostesses that are in it right now, and I think I might have a third one coming in, are really excited about the battle, because the person that gets the highest volume in sales gets something special. The last one I gave her like $20 in extra credit, and she thought it was the best thing. But I also love your idea about telling them the $500 the limit, because I had a hostess that just closed, actually a former consultant, Carrie. She just had a $1,000 party. And she said, okay, I want to get the $500 party because I want to get that, you know, that special. And then right. I said, we kept going, and I said, you're going to get a $1,000 party. And she was blown away that she was able to get that much. So I like that idea of saying, okay, we're going to do at least $500. But again, the mega parties or the battles, I don't even do them as anything but a battle now. I say, you know, this is a battle. And the ladies really got into, hey, I'm ahead, you know, or I'm behind, who's going to push me? I think people really like it that way. And to be honest, I was apprehensive about doing Facebook parties, and I don't know how I'm going to go back to doing in-person parties now.
I know there's part of me who misses people so much, right? Like I do love that, but like at the same time, like I'm like, dang, the amount of money I make from one battle versus a big, like one party. But there's still something about an actual connection though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It is definitely missed, but no. And you guys, just to kind of end, I mean, if anybody's got more questions, by all means, you can ask. But if I had more of my team here to brag on, I have a lot of mini-me's. So while my 190,000 is like, oh, you know, you have your full-time jobs, you have your little kids, you have all of the things, right? And you're like, got me up here. I have so many women who have taken what I am doing, and they have full-time jobs and they have children, and they are selling 5,000 consistently a month, and even 10,000 a month, and even $2,000 a month. And they've taken my version and they've narrowed it down to what works for them. They might be doing 3 or 4 battles. They might just be doing one party, but they're using the hostess coaching. They've made it their own. I have a lot of women on my team that I can testify are doing it, and even with the company, because I've shared it with the company a lot also. And so there's a lot of people that like I said, I don't want to say mini-me because that sounds silly, but it's kind of is. I mean, it's really what it is. It's your version for what works for your schedule and your time. You third shifters and all of that crazy stuff. Gosh, God bless you. I know. And that's what brings it back to what Stacy said, is that it's all about the systems. And I will tell you, the reason that these systems are so in place and so well is because I actually played to my greatest weakness. I am a high yellow, jump in feet first, fly by the seat of my pants kind of gal. Systems are not my thing. And to make money, I knew I have to have systems. And to keep myself a little bit sane, I had to have systems. So mine isn't just about busy. I'm in a different place than a lot of you. My kids I'm getting ready to be an empty nester. I've got an 18, soon to be 18 and 20-year-old. So I've actually got all kinds of time on my hands. It's like, what? I mean, and they're still here. So don't get me wrong. It's not all rainbows and sunshines yet, but I'm not chasing little wolves, not running things to ball games and all of that stuff. but my personality still says shiny thing, look over here, look over there. So I had to do this for myself. And now I don't want to say I'm like a robot, but I am. I'm automated. It's just like when you asked Megan, like, you know, how much time does it take? And that it doesn't take me any time at all because my hand knows how to go click, click, copy, paste, click, click, click. I've got it all memorized. The more you do it, the more you're just going to have your system down as well. And it's going to seem easier and easier. And it takes time. I was back there. I was doing 6 and 7. May of last year, I was having like 8 and was like, oh my gosh, I've got a battle of 8. You guys, now I'm like, I'll do 20. I don't care. And I know that's crazy, but that's where I'm at. I little by little just kept pushing the limit because that's my personality too. And I'd add more in there and realize it doesn't matter. Everybody's either you're still just going to get the same amount of participation times maybe 5, but big deal. If I've got 30 people coming on something, holy cow, it's fun. Like yes, there's more hostesses to coach. That's the part that Megan caught on to. Absolutely. You are putting more work into that, but I'm putting less time into my party. My party's all instant share. It just plops out there. I go in and heart everything and respond where need be. And it's really not that much work.
I don't mind that. I just got to find the people. Like,
Yes.
what rock are they
Yes.
hiding under? Like, I want to put 30 people in a party. That'd be great. But
Yes.
like, where are they?
And it takes time. You know, so one of the things I tell people when they're starting out, if you've not done mega parties or you've not done a lot of them, use that to your advantage. I've got something really cool I want to try. I need some guinea pigs. Hit those ride or dies. Hit those girls that have had one before. Use it to your advantage of like, I just really need some people to try this. Like, I swear to you, I don't care how well you do. Please, I need warm bodies to try this for me. Get the ball rolling with those people. You know, just start it. Anywhere you can that you can book those parties and get them into that one party for sure. Any other questions?
Danielle, how many parties are you averaging a month right now?
It's about 20. I book 30 all the time. I'm always trying to actually get 31 parties submitted. It is yet to happen. I have 31 booked almost every month and have 20. So, I mean, I'm telling you, I lose the same percentage that you guys all lose. I mean, they move, they do whatever. It's pretty much 20 on average. I've had some high ones. I mean, I've had some back in January, my really big month when I was like 26,000 and we had the outlet sale and we rolled them over and all that jazz. I was really close to the 30 mark, but really pretty much on average, it's about 20.
Well, Danielle, I just wanted to say thank you so much. This is very good. And Stacy, thanks so much for the invite. And I have got to run to bed.
I understand. Did we have anything? I do see there's a chat too before we leave. Was there anything in the chat? I didn't even pay attention to it. Oh, yeah. Bestie had to go. That was Heather having to go. And then Gresha saying no passcode. Okay. Last chance. Any other questions?
Thanks again.
Thank you
Yes,
so much.
absolutely. Thanks to Stacy for making me do it. Not making me, pulling my finger just a little bit.
Megan,
Bye,
and
boss lady.
if you're not in her group, go in her group and you
I
can
did. I joined it yesterday, the playground. Yeah.
yeah, and go underneath it's under the guides, right?
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I believe it's, I don't want to tell you what number it is, but it's in the guides. I don't know which number, but it's in there.
Really nice
Okay.
to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll print it at work tomorrow.
All 31 pages. I'm telling you, you're going to get overwhelmed, but do what you got to do.
I got 12 hours.
You understand the why now, so hopefully you won't. You'll see.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks,
Okay.
Danielle.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.